Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Alethea. I'm an international student advisor here at the Berkeley International Office. So the first thing I want to do is a sound and screen check. So if you guys can just raise your hand if you can hear me and if you can see the presentation screen. Okay, good. Looks like a couple people. I'm still missing a couple people. So again, if you can hear me and if you can see the screen, just raise your hand. Okay, that looks like most people. Okay, awesome. Well, welcome everyone. So today we're going to be talking about applying for a student visa. So we're going to kind of go over the process. I will be taking questions later. So if you do have questions, you can type them in now or you can save them until the end, but just know that I will get to those at the end of the presentation. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is what type of visa do you need? So we have the F1 or J1 student visas. So this is a non-immigrant visa sponsored by your school, so sponsored by UC Berkeley. They allow you to remain in the US for the duration of your status, and they do come with some employment benefits as well. There is a link to our website here where you can kind of compare and contrast the differences between F1 and J1 and figure out which status would be right for you. There are other visa categories that do allow study, such as H4, J2, E2, or TD. B1, B2, and F2 do prohibit full-time studies. So with those, you cannot be a full-time student. So I'm going to go over the application process a little bit. So the first step would be to submit the online non-immigrant information form, the NIF, which is our form. After you complete that form, our office issues you your I-20 or your DS 2019. You will then go online and pay the SEVIS fee. You'll complete the online visa application form, DS 160. You will pay the visa application fee, and then you'll schedule your visa appointment for your interview. You'll attend the visa interview, and then you would receive the passport back with your visa in it. Okay. In terms of the processing time, so to process your NIF form is 10 to 15 business days plus the shipping time. And then the visa application fees, forms, and appointment scheduling are all accessible online. For the NIF, we do also have expedited processing. Those you can all choose in the form as you're filling it out. And then wait times for the visa appointments and processing do vary by location. So it's recommended to apply as early as possible in order to avoid any delays. In addition, the Department of State is increasing scrutiny for many non-immigrant visa applicants, such as individuals who might be present in an ISIS-controlled territory, including Iraq. You could face additional questions or social media review, and those subject to these security clearances can expect extremely long visa processing times ranging from 2 to 6 months or more, and then including countries on the executive order travel bans could face some complicated travel, such as Libya, Iran, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. You can keep up to date with these travel alerts on our immigration policy updates and FAQ page listed here. And then you can always contact our office if you have questions as well. Okay, and then a little bit about your I-20 or DS 2019. So the F1 document is the I-20 and the J1 document is the DS 2019. These are certificates of eligibility, so it allows you to apply for a student visa. They contain details about you, your school, and your program of study. And to request this document, you have to complete the NIF form online. And then our office mails this document to you. And then your SEVIS ID number is located on the top left-hand corner of the F1 I-20 and the top right-hand corner of the J1 DS 2019. And once you have that number, then you can pay the SEVIS fee. So this, the SEVIS fee is the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, so that is SEVIS. And then that's what the website looks like. And then this is where you will fill out your information, including your SEVIS ID number, in order to pay the fee. And as I said, you have to make this payment after you receive the SEVIS ID number. The fee amount can change, so we recommend checking out their website, fmjfee.com, for the most up-to-date costs and information about the fee. And then after you make the fee, make sure you print your receipt. You'll need to travel with that. And keep in mind that after paying the SEVIS fee, Canadian citizens don't have to apply for the visa. You just apply at the border with required arrival documents. But again, make sure that you print your receipt. Okay, and then in terms of the visa interview, to find the U.S. Embassy or consulate nearest to you, you can use usembassy.gov and check the website for specific visa application instructions if they require anything different, and look for the instructions to apply for a non-immigrant visa. The U.S. Embassy website might link you to a third-party website for visa application instructions, so just keep that in mind. And then in terms of the DS-160, the visa application form, it is an online visa application form for all non-immigrant visas. And you need to select your embassy location first, and then look at the list of required documents and information that you'll need, the browser requirements, and how you'll need to complete the application as well. There are also FAQs here in the right-hand corner. And if you have any questions about this visa form, you do have to reach out to your consulate or embassy. Some of the frequently asked questions, where can you find it? And if you're having trouble accessing it, this is what the FAQ section will look like. And then once you complete it, you need to print the confirmation page with a barcode. And some tips for filling out the application form. For the U.S. point of contact, you can list the Berkeley International Office. Our contact information is there. You can list a family member or friend. And then for the address where you will stay in the U.S., it's okay if you don't know where you will live yet. You can provide an address where you might stay when you first arrive. That's fine. And then you'll upload your photos when you complete the online form. They do have specific photo guidelines, so you can follow the link here for the requirements for the photos. Okay, and then you'll pay the visa application fee. This is a non-refundable fee. It's sometimes called the MRV fee or the NIV application fee. Payment instructions are specific to your local embassy. And again, check out fmjfee.com for the most up-to-date information on this fee amount. And make sure you print your receipt for this as well. Okay, and after that, you're going to want to schedule your visa interview appointment. You can follow the instructions given by the embassy or consulate where you intend to apply, and don't wait to schedule this visa appointment. Wait times for appointments can be long during the summer, so try to schedule that as soon as possible. There is also a link on our website where you can check visa wait times. And then we do have some tips for preparing for the interview. Check out the embassy website for a complete list of documents that you'll need, but do be prepared to bring your passport, your I-20 or DS-2019, the acceptance letter from UC Berkeley, and then proof of funding, so financial statements or award letters, and then your SEVIS fee receipt as well. And then finally your DS-160 confirmation page. And then in terms of the actual interview, security at the U.S. Embassy, they might not allow you to bring specific items inside the building, so just keep that in mind. You will have to wait for your number to be called for your interview. And it is a brief interview. It should only be a few minutes long. The interview is going to be asking you questions about your studies, your non-immigrant intent, and your financial ability, as well as your language ability. And some suggestions for the interview: make sure you answer the questions concisely and honestly, and be aware that they may also conduct a social media review, so kind of think about what information you are posting online. And if you don't understand something that they ask you, don't be afraid to ask questions or follow up. And as always, be respectful and courteous. Okay, and then once you receive your visa, you should check the embassy website for instructions for passport delivery or pickup. Check the visa for accuracy, so make sure that your name is spelled correctly, the visa type that you applied for, either F1 or J1, is correct. And then security checks are a possibility as well, so administrative processing. So this will cause a delay in visa processing, so contact BIO if you do have concerns about delayed arrival. The average processing time is 60 to 90 days, but some cases it could take up to as long as 6 months. There is more information on the U.S. Department of State website, so you can follow that link here. And then our website's link is here as well for different security clearances. Okay, and then if your visa is denied, the first thing, don't panic. Do ask for the reason of denial in writing, and make sure you take detailed notes about the interview, the officer's name, the questions you were asked, and the answers that you gave. And then email us right away at internationaloffice@berkeley.edu and give us those details, including the location of the consulate and the date and time of your interview. And then after consulting with one of our bio advisors, reapply with additional information that would address the denial reason. But again, make sure you reach out to us as soon as possible. Okay, and then in terms of visas for your family, so visas for dependents would be F2 or J2. This can be children under 21 or a legally married spouse. You can apply for a dependent visa with the F1 or J1 or independently, and they'll need their own documents and copies of the F1 and J1 documents as well. And we do have more information on our website here at internationaloffice.berkeley.edu/inviting-family. Okay, and then in terms of arriving in the US, so on the I-20, you have your earliest admission date, which is the earliest date that you can arrive in the US, and the program start and end date, so when you will actually start your studies. And then they have the similar information on the DS 2019. So you can enter the US up to 30 days before the program start date on the I-20 or DS 2019. Okay, and that's where you can find it on the DS 2019. So make sure you check those dates, and then we recommend entering at least a week before your classes begin. Definitely make sure you arrive before any required orientation events. And if you transferred into us, you're not subject to this 30-day limit. Okay, and then in terms of preparing for your arrival, we recommend carrying all of your required documents with you, not in your checked bag. Make sure you have all of those documents on your person. Don't bring any restricted items, so make sure you're following these rules regarding travel with medication, food, or pets. There's a list here on the CBP's website. Be aware that they might inspect your electronic devices. You can check out the ACLU's website for travel tips regarding precautions that you can take. And if possible, if you can arrive during our office hours, Monday to Friday, 10 to 12 or 1 to 4, then if you run into any problems, you can have CBP call our office. Okay, and the required arrival documents, you will have to present them to the CBP officer. You'll need your passport that's valid for at least 6 months into the future with your valid visa, if applicable. You'll need your I-20 or DS 2019. You'll need evidence of financial resources, your proof of admission for new students or your enrollment for current students, and then the receipt of your SEVIS fee payment. The officers might ask you questions about your reason for entering the US, where you're traveling, or about your academic program. If you encounter any problems when you enter, please contact our office as soon as possible. Okay, and then our contact information is here. So we have our website, we have our general questions email. If you have questions specific to the NIF form, you can email nif@berkeley.edu. Our phone number is listed here, as well as our office hours. Okay, and finally, we do have some more upcoming webinars. So we have undergrad academic success and culture, as well as grad academic success and culture. Those are coming up. We have a webinar specifically for transfer students, EAP students, and then a financial planning webinar as well. You can also find those on our website linked there. Okay, so I'm going to put it back to our contact information here, but that is everything that I have for you guys. So now if you have any questions for me, now would be the time. So you can type them right in there. So it looks like we have one. Okay, So the question is, do I need information like the US point of contact since I'm Canadian and don't need to apply for a visa? Sorry, I can't see the rest of this. Hold on. What info do I need to give border officers? So you would have to still pay the service fee, but again, you don't have to fill out the actual visa application form. So you'll just travel with the same documents that we listed before. So, passport and your DS 2019 or I-20, financial documents, and enrollment documents. Okay. Okay, so I have some other questions here. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so someone is asking questions about switching from an H-4 visa to an F-1 visa. So for that, I would recommend if you can come in and speak to one of our advisors, that would be great. Otherwise, I would email those questions to internationaloffice@berkeley.edu because change of status is a bit more of a complicated process. So I would rather you have speak to an advisor directly. Okay, and then someone is asking about administrative checks. For you, I would also recommend emailing our office because again, that's a very specific situation. So if your passport was taken for administrative check, please reach out to us so you can, again, email internationaloffice@berkeley.edu. Okay, another question, is a one-page bank statement enough to show financial ability, or do you have to bring a document with transaction history? So a one-page bank statement should be fine. It should include, the date it was issued, which should be within the last 6 months. It should include the name of the person and then the total amount in there. If you want to bring further financial documents, that's fine. There is also a link in the presentation and on our website for what kind of financial documents. Okay, another person saying they're a UCEAP student and they received the admission letter from UCEAP, but not from Berkeley. Yeah, you can bring the admission letter from UCEAP as long as it has, your name and that you'll be studying at UC Berkeley and that kind of information. Okay, so someone's asking about social media review. So social media review means that the officer could look at your Facebook or Instagram or kind of any social media that you have and look at the kind of things that you're posting and the kind of people that you're interacting with and see if anything looks fishy, if there's anything that they don't like. So, just kind of keep that in mind in terms of articles that you're posting or conversations that you're having. These are things that they could look at and review. Okay, so someone's asking about the NIF form. So they said, I completed my NIF form and received the I-20. However, the Cal Central task is still there. That has been happening a bit. It's just a technical error. So if you send us an email at internationaloffice@berkeley.edu, we can double check and make sure that everything's okay. And if it is, then we can just go in and manually clear the task. But definitely email us so we can take a look and see if there's anything else that we need. Okay, next question. Do I need the original copy of my offer admission? It can't hurt to have it, but a copy of that should be fine. Another social media question. Can the officer see my private conversations on social media too? I'm not sure how in depth they would go with this, but they can, again, look at like Facebook messages, Instagram messages. So these are things that they could see. So again, just kind of keep that in mind. And you might want to kind of do a cleanup of the things that you have. Okay. Okay, so someone's asking about funding. So how would you show that you have access to your funds, if you're being financially sponsored by someone else? Yeah, a birth certificate and a statement letter from the sponsor would be good. I mean, this is similar to what you uploaded to the NIF form, so you could even print out a copy of that and take that with you. Okay, and then someone's asking about visa application process once the NIF form is complete. So again, when you complete the NIF form, you have the option of having faster processing times because you do need that CVIS ID number in order to start the visa application process. So if you have more time, then again, it's 10 to 15 business days after we receive your NIF form. If you choose expedited processing, then it's 5 business days. And at that point, you'll have access to your CVIS ID number and you can start the visa application, and then you'll have to wait to receive your DS 2019 or I-20 for the visa interview. And again, you can choose faster mailing times as well. So it kind of just depends on the processing time that you choose. And again, I mean, you have to look at your embassy or consulate to see how long the wait times are for the interviews and kind of get in touch with them about processing times for the actual visa. But in terms of completing your NIF form, yeah, you can choose those different processing times and mailing options in the actual form itself. Okay, someone's asking, do you need a birth certificate for the visa interview? No, you shouldn't need that. Again, just the list of documents that we provided here in the webinar. I mean, if you want to take it, it can't hurt, but it's not one of the required documents. Okay, and someone's talking about a scholarship that covers things. I mean, if the scholarship covers all of your costs, so I mean, that would need to be in addition to tuition and fees, you do have living costs as well. So there is a certain amount that needs to be covered. So if your scholarship is covering everything, so the total amount that's on your NIF form is covered, then that's fine. A scholarship could cover it all. Otherwise, we would need bank statements in addition to the scholarship. Okay, and I have a transfer student here. So they have a visa that hasn't expired yet. Do they need to apply for a visa again? No, so if you're transferring directly to us, your CVIS ID number stays the same. So it's okay if the name of the school and your visa doesn't match the school that you're currently attending. Keep in mind your visa is just an entry document. So if you're already here in the US, and again, you transfer and you have RI-20, that's totally fine. You don't have to apply for a new visa, until your visa expires and you are trying to re-enter the US. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so someone's asking, is it possible for visa processing to not be finished by the time we have to arrive in Berkeley? I mean, it is possible if you kind of start the process very late, or if you run into some visa delays. It definitely is possible. So that's why we say, make your visa appointment as soon as you can and submit your NIF form as soon as you can. If you do run into delays, definitely let us know and keep in touch, especially if it's getting close to the start of the semester and you think you might not make it here for the start of classes. So definitely keep us in the loop. And again, make sure that you finish the NIF form as soon as you can and get your visa appointment as soon as you can. Okay, and I have another question about the original copy of your letter of admission. Again, I think I had this question before, but you can bring your original letter, but a copy should be fine. Okay, and a question from an EAP student. Does the exemption of tuition and fees count as a scholarship? So again, you can just take the financial documents that you upload for the NIF form showing that you have enough funding to cover the semester, especially if you're an EAP student. Again, I mean, if you do have exemption fees, you could take that with you as well, but I would recommend just taking what you uploaded for the NIF form. Okay, any other questions? Okay, guys, so I'm going to mute myself and stick around for a little bit. So if you have any questions that come up, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, this is kind of the end of the webinar. So if you think of anything else, I'll stick around. Feel free to type the question in, and then I will unmute myself and answer it. Okay, guys, I'm going to stick around for another minute or two, and if you don't have any questions, then I'm going to close the webinar. So if you have any questions, send them to me now. Okay, guys, I'm going to shut the webinar down now. Thank you for attending, and if you have any questions, feel free to email us at internationaloffice@berkeley.edu. Bye.